For question 5, boy, you need to find out the change in the producer surplus. And you should know that producer surplus is actually the difference between the price received by sellers and the marginal cost. What does it mean by this difference? This difference means actually the profit or how much the sellers can earn by selling each unit of the product. I repeat, each unit of the product. Then how to find out the initial producer surplus based on this definition? So initially, what is the price? The price should be P1, right? So then we need to find the difference between P1 and also the marginal cost. And you should know that marginal cost is actually the same as the supply curve. And initially, of course, we consider S1 as the initial marginal cost. And if you consider the difference between P1, this horizontal dotted line here, and also the upward sloping supply curve S1 here, then the triangle here, P1 boy dot, should be the initial producer surplus. And most of you haven't got any problems finding the initial one. However, most of you have problems finding the new producer surplus. How to find the new producer surplus? You may wonder, we can just look at the price and also the new MC, right? So we have a new price, P2. Why don't we look at P2? And why don't we look at S2 as we have a new supply curve? If you do so, the producer surplus could be shown by P2CE, this triangle here. I repeat, P2CE, this triangle here. This is totally incorrect. Why? Because, as I've mentioned before, for the producer surplus, we should consider the price received by the sellers. We are not considering the price paid by the buyers. If you look at the diagram, P2 is the price paid by the buyers, right? But is it the price or the amount of money received by sellers? It is not. For the sellers, except receiving this market price from the buyers, they also receive the per unit subsidy from the government. And that's why the amount of money received or earned by the sellers isn't equal to P2. What is it? It should be P2 plus the subsidy. How can I find that P2 plus subsidy? P2 is this vertical distance, right? So we know that this vertical distance is P2. And where is the subsidy? Subsidy is the difference between the two supply curves. Then you can find out the subsidy here between A and C. And if you are going to find out the price received by the sellers, then it should be equal to this amount, which is the sum of P2 and the subsidy. And that's why, may I write it down in this way, this is price 2 plus subsidy. And this is something we have to consider here. And how about the marginal cost? You may also wonder, it should be S2, right? We have a new supply curve. But let me ask you this question. If there is subsidy provided by the government, is there any change in the marginal cost? Or to be accurate, is there any change in the cost of production? The cost of production actually doesn't change, right? When you produce it, you still buy the raw materials at the same price. What you benefit from the subsidy is that when you sell the product to the market, you can receive something from the government, right? But the cost of producing it doesn't change. And you can't tell me that there is a new cost and we have S2 being the new supply, new marginal cost. This is totally incorrect. And the marginal cost is always equal to the supply curve without any subsidy, without any tax, and without any quota. So that means in this case, the marginal cost is still equal to S1. And to find out the producer surplus, I mean the new one, what you need to consider is P2 plus subsidy and also S1, but not S2. Then if you do so, where is it? You consider this level, which is a price received by the sellers, and also this marginal cost here. Then obviously, what is the new producer surplus? The new producer surplus should be shown by this triangle, P2 plus subsidy, and then AD. So P2 plus subsidy and then AD. So this is something you have to consider. And of course, you haven't finished yet because you need to find a change. Then you just compare these two rectangle. And if you compare these two triangle, then the difference will be the trapezium here. And this is the gain and the producer surplus that you must consider. The gain in producer surplus should be shown by this trapezium.